Everyone, so today we are going to talk about ICP as I had promised, and we're going to discuss this. If you're looking at the logo of, apart from ICP, my logo is just that a student of mine, he was kind enough to place a copyright here. This is my Telegram community and I own this brand, so he placed it there. So don't think I'm covering this, I'm actually covering ICP. So the current market cap of ICP is $6.2 billion and its fully diluted market cap is $6.9 billion. This is at the time of recording. Things will change later on, but it is the situation right now. What am I covering in this video is going to have an impact on your portfolio, because you will see that whether ICP is good for you for the long term or not. This video doesn't cover the short-term case scenario. This video doesn't cover moon boys and the stupidities out there, because I'll cover all those aspects, but this covers the on-ground reality of ICP, as whether ICP is actually a good project in crypto or is a total disaster and you should just stay away from it. Unfortunately, in crypto, the overall masses that are involved, they have a lot of followers because they play gimmicks. They are better in making thumbnails than me. They create clickbaits, they have more followers, but I can assure you that bring them for a conversation with me. I promise you I'll humble them for you. It's just that they don't know shit. They share ICP and then they say it's a 50x, 100x coin. It's just because of the fact that when you look at its price, it's currently sitting at 13.58 and its all-time high, which you see here. You see this thing, all-time high, all-time low, current price. When you look at its all-time high price, it was 461, and then these people, they will tell you that this can do 50x, 100x, 200x, that kind of shit, because they will show you a graph, and then visually when you look at the graph, it will look really, really lucrative, but that might not be the reality, and I want to basically bust that bullshit with ICP. So let's first talk about what is ICP. Okay, what does it do? So I will read this, you might not understand it, but we are not here to talk about the technology. We are talking about things. One is that, is ICP successful? Are people using it? Second, is ICP sustainable? Will it live? Is it good for the long term? And then we will talk about some other stuff as well. So Internet Computer adds autonomous serverless cloud functionality to the public internet, making it possible to build almost any system or service entirely on a decentralized network using Canister software and evolution of smart contracts. Some of you might not understand, but who cares? I mean, people invest money in it and they still don't understand what it is. Anyway, let's look at their financial situations. Okay, financial situation, they are there for 4 years. How are they doing overall? So when we look at it, this is the data. Oh my God, I moved it. This is editable data. Anyway, so let's look at it. It's 2021, 2022, 23, 24. This is revenue, the amount of money that they have generated, and next to it is expenses, and you know what expenses are, right? So when we look at the revenue that they have generated, let's look at revenue to expenses side by side. In 2021, their income that they generated was $500,000, but the expenses that they had was $1.2 billion, which is fucking crazy. And then next year they generated $1.4 million, but their expenses were $492 million. They generated $250,000 and their expenses were $189 million, and this is 2023. This year they have so far generated $44,000, but their expenses are $63 million, which means that when you look at it overall, they have only made in 4 years $2.2 million, but their expenses are almost $2 billion. Not almost, it is $2 billion, it's $1.99 billion. So when you look at it, this is a very disastrous situation, because this is total crap. They are operating from 4 years and their revenue is nothing close to their expenses. Now, what is missing here is the fact that these are not actually expenses. This is the money that they are pocketing. So because the question is that if they are having such amount of expenses, where is this money going to come from? Because their revenue is not that much, their income is not that much. Revenue is income, right? How are they basically covering this stuff? The answer for that is that by selling tokens. In XRP case scenario, it is very obvious and easy to identify, but that is not the case scenario with the rest of the tokens, because they hide it. But it is very obvious, and I'll show it to you in tokenomics. They are continuously selling their tokens on investors. Investors are stupid enough to to listen to people on Twitter, on TikTok, and in other places, and maybe on YouTube, and then they have a thumb, this coin can do 50x and 100x, and then they will talk about ICP there because they say its all-time high was 461 and it's sitting at $13 right now. And then these naive investors, unfortunately the uneducated one, they listen to another uneducated person who has 1 million followers. Just because of that he has 1 million followers, they will fall for that scam. And then they go and then they buy, and when the price starts going up, ICP, the creators, their team, their advisors, they start selling their tokens on their investors. And so far they have bagged $2 billion in cash. This is hard cash. This is not market cap situation. So imagine they have been selling on you from $460 up till their all-time low. When we looked at it, if you could remember clearly, that was quite quite disastrous. So I think the overall situation with ICP is not that nice, because it's not something that people want, because their all-time low, when you look at it, it was at $2.9. And I haven't checked the graph, but the on-ground reality might be that they sold it from 461 all the way towards 2.9, as heartlessly as XRP did when they started selling it from $3. They were always selling, but they continued selling even when it went to 20 cents. They didn't stop. And same is the case scenario with ICP. So this is visual representation, but we don't need to see that. Coming back here, let's talk about their adoption. They are there for 4 years. They're saying they have spent $2 billion. So you would expect that they have spent it on marketing. They have spent it on bringing in developers. Everyone is developing on their technology. Because when you look at their signals that they're sending out in the market and misleading people, that is at next level. Next level in a sense that when you look at it, the high, what do you call it? High developer activity. This is one of the most misleading indicator that they have recently started using it to mislead the uneducated audience again. When you look at the overall situation, it's something that is called commits, okay? It's called top 10 chain by confirmed changes to the code base. They're called number of commits. So these are basically changes to the code on GitHub. So they're using this as a signal. They're saying that, look, ICP has the highest level of changes in comparison to Solana, Chainlink, Mina, and everyone out there. When you look at the number of commits, they have the highest, 9,949, which tells you that, you know, ICP is the killer. They are the best. So many people are developing on it. You know, look at the number. You know, there would be a massive development going on. But when you go to the adoption, only 5 people are using it, which is a total scam. When you compare it to Ethereum on Binance Smart Chain, which is BNB, 800, 600, look at Polygon, 450, Optimism, 181, and no one gives a rat's ass about ICP. These 5 people might as well be their friends and family, because when you look at the total value locked against this is only $12 million. $12 million is a joke. It's a very bad joke. What is a TVL, okay? So this is something that I use against CoinMarketCap. This is what I teach my students. So what you do is that you take the TVL and then you divide it by the market cap, and then the percentage that you get, that tells you how powerful this project is. The higher the percentage, the more powerful it is, which is why Solana, which is sitting at $2 billion right now, you see Sol, 2 billion. This is not good when you compare it to Ethereum, which has $45 billion at this point of time. It's almost 25% of their overall market cap. If I recall it correctly, I need to go back and check. But in terms of percentage, it is way higher than Solana when you compare it. And then you can pretty much tell that Solana is not that strong. in comparison to Ethereum. And of course, you can see Solana has 111 serious projects on it, but when you look at Ethereum, they have total applications of 828. So the Solana, which is considered to be the Ethereum killer, is not that strong. But our point is not that. Our point is ICP, which is a bloody joke. At one end, you see Ethereum has $45 billion locked against it. Solana has $2 billion. Every other project has 880 million, which is almost $1 billion on every project here that we are looking at. But this is 12 million. TVL is a total value locked. It is the amount of money in coins in that particular coin that you're using. In this case, it's ICP. You buy it and you lock it. Basically, you stake it on that platform, which basically shows that you're committing to that platform and you want to use it for whatever purposes. Like in case of ChainGPT, which is now at 100 million as of today, they have total value locked of $45 million. More than 45% of their total supply is locked. I have locked with them as well for the uses that they provide, which shows that it is having a very strong floor, because 45% of the people have said they will not sell that token. They will not do that. But over here, it's only 12 million, and we saw the market cap. It's $6.2 billion and 12.5, which makes this whole project a big rubbish. It is a garbage project. No one is using it. Even when you dig deep, I'm not going to go and get into very depth of it, because the research is done on a lot of links. You go there and you do your research. You can go and find all the information there. I'm not going to get into that. It's all out there. No one cares about it. It is expensive. It is not good for adoption. People are not using it. So ICP is a totally useless project that is out there, and they have spent $2 billion, and I don't know, God knows what they have spent it on, because it is very clear that people are not using it. And this overall commits that you see, that championship, it might be just 2-3 people who are continuously changing their code just to increase this number, or they can hire people. How hard is that? Hire a bunch of freelancer, tell them that, go and play with the commits. And every time they're changing it, this number is just bumping up, and they have 9,900, way more in comparison to so many other projects out there. Like, for example, you compare it to Chainlink, which is a good project. They have 2,900 commits. But useless shit like ICP, they have 9,900, which is clearly manipulated, because when you compare it to other people, it doesn't make any sense. So overall, their usage is not there whatsoever. And it's not just that, okay? When you look at ICP in other case scenarios, for example, let's look at it here, okay? When you look at the total value locked of ICP, it is 12.2 million. I showed it to you, right? And then look at the on-chain application list, okay? Adoption of the layer. This is basically the breakdown of the $12 million. The 5 people who have agreed to use it, okay? 2 of them are DEXs, and both of them are their own DEXs, okay? ICP swap and ICP DEX. And that is almost $12 million, which means that this little scam that is going on, they're using their own thing. They have their own commitment. Is them using it. It's not even friends and family, it's them. And when you look at it, there is someone else, Rakeoff and Staked ICP and Sonic. I didn't dig deep into it. One is staking pool, liquid staking index, and that is like $200,000. This is a total beautifully designed scam. And of course, I don't think this video will get a lot of views, because people share only juicy content that have good clickbaits. But if somehow people get to watch this content and they wake up, it makes no sense to buy. But of course, if they go for the Moon Boys and then they create videos where they say that, this thing is going to do 50x, and people are stupid enough to buy, because no one reads. The best part, no one actually identifies what is good in the project. They never look deep into it, and then they just ape aping is basically blind buying like a monkey, and then they hope with their fingers crossed that this thing is going to work out. That is pretty much their strategy. They look at the graph, this was the all-time high, this is where it is sitting, and all that bullshit. But the on-ground reality, when you look at it, this is an executive summary snapshot. I have so much more detail than this. You look at it, there is literally nothing good about this project. There's nothing. And this is basically the coding statistics of it, okay? 90% of it is Rust, which is their own language, which means that no one is using it. We look at the Python and others, it's nothing. Code contribution and everything else, when you look at the stats, they scream that people are not using it. And it's been 4 years, $2 billion spent, according to them. Still no one is using it. Okay, and contributors, this is initial allocations of the tokens. It basically tells you that who has how much of the overall tokens. So when you look at it, the private pre-sale, strategic partners, community airdrop, initial community developers. So they gave away all these percentages. Parent organization of ICP, okay, and then they had a private sale, and then they had early contributors. This is basically where their major tokens have been gone to. And there's another, yeah, this one. This is like more than 50% of the supply, which is, again, it can be their friends and family, whoever got into it. It can be themselves buying it dirt cheap. But whatever it is, when you look at the overall tokenomics of it, okay, this is basically the visual representation of the above chart that I just showed you. ICP, by the way, ICP's overall, what do you call it, overall manufacturing, increase of supply, it's called minting. I'm just saying it is perpetual. I will tell you how, okay. So when you look at it, okay, this is in terms of fee, how much money they're making, by the way. So let me show you how much Ethereum is making. Ethereum is making $2.6 billion, okay. And this is monthly, right? Top 25 projects in the blockchain sector based on the monthly cumulative fee in the past 365 days, okay. Monthly, okay, so this is a annual fee that they have generated through the blockchain. So every blockchain has a fee. Ethereum is $2.6 billion. When we have Bitcoin there, when we have BNB, $176 million. Let's come here to check our hero, $280,000. So they're not making any money because no one is using their chain, which is bad for Celo as well. Anyway, going back here, this is node rewards. Yes. So those who are node providers, they're giving them ICP. Okay, they have given 11 million tokens. This is something that they generate. They are not giving it out of the pool. When you look at the tokenomics, it is not there in the tokenomics, which means that the overall supply of the tokens, it is continuously increasing. And when you look at the overall burn, it is nothing. So you would expect that, the generation would be less and the burning would be more, which means that they are dealing with the inflation. Nope, that is not the case. Total ICP coins that are burned is 159,000, but the total coins generated are 11 million. And this is, of course, the data of 4 years. Just imagine in next 4 years, they will double the overall supply. Anyway, overall, when you look at it, there is nothing good coming out of this project when you look at it from all the perspectives. It doesn't matter what perspective you take on it. You would try to find one good thing about this project, and literally there is nothing. I have looked at it from all the perspectives that are available there, from all the angles, that maybe there is some angle to this project where I can sit and finally tell you that, this is one good thing about ICP. There's nothing. And I just wanted to come out and bring it to your attention that if down the line ICP project dies, actually there is no if. Sorry. When down the line ICP project dies, it can take some years because they can continue to mint. It depends on when will the foolish wake up and see what is happening. Because those who are have millions of dollars and are educated, they're not investing. When I see something like this, I run in a different direction. Even if there is a lot of hype and I can do a 2 or 3x with it because I know that there are monkeys that will buy this shit, still I wouldn't risk my money. I wouldn't put big money in it. All this $6 billion that are stuck there, $6.2 billion, this is just a big disaster. And Luna was like that. Of course, it had a separate issue. It was not like this, that they were fundamentally failed. That was programmatically failed. But this one is fundamentally fucked up. And there are some other projects like this as well, which I'll cover in separate videos, but I wanted to come out and talk about ICP as what a shit show it is. And you should watch out, because as an investor, if you decide to marry this project and you say, I'm going to hold this thing for 2 to 5 years, then you are in for a very bad news. And this is why projects like ICP can go from $460 to $2. Projects like Solana can go from $250 to $8 and so on, because the fundamentals are extremely bad. And those who read and study, the educated investors, they can smell shit from the far and they can identify. And all this information is available on internet. It just takes a bit of research, and you should of course have the skills to prepare these. But at the end of the day, the thing is, ICP is not a good investment whatsoever from long-term perspective. If I start making a daily video on it, I can start saying that this thing is bullish, because that will be the situation on the graph. Graphs have no idea that what the team is doing. Graph has no idea team is not making any money. Graph has no idea that they're continuously selling tokens on investors, and that is how they're surviving, and that is not how you run a project. It doesn't matter you're in crypto space or outside crypto, you cannot survive like this forever. And if I compare it to XRP, at least they were blunt, that they said they still have 28 billion tokens of XRP with them, which will make them survive for 11 next years, because they can continuously sell and survive. But the thing is that with them, they have unlimited supply. ICP can generate as many tokens as they want. They can continue to mint because they are not paying for these expenses out of pockets. They generate the coins out of the blue. There is this unlimited supply, and they're paying out of that. So that's pretty much it. I hope you found it useful. I think if you care enough, if you have friends and family that you want to save, you should let them know.